Hello, it's Eric again. This is my second video now. I'm really trying to do this every week. I hope you guys are liking it. I've been following. I saw that I already have a couple of subscribers and I got a couple of likes. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys. It's really encouraging. That makes me want to come out and keep doing this. So since the last time I made a video, a lot of things have happened. I've really been trying to beef up my collection a little bit, and really, I think as I previously stated, I'm in a information gathering stage right now. So I've done a lot to try to gather new information and just learn as much as I can about this hobby, about comic book collecting, and just having fun with it. One of the things I found is that if there's anything that you enjoy, it's always a good idea to ask people, because if anybody else is passionate about it, they're almost always going to be happy to tell you and educate you. And that doesn't just have to be like a club or some sort of a group to meet up. I go straight out to the stores. I go straight to the sources. There's three or four that I really like to go to, and I'll talk to them. I'll sit there with them at the counter for 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes, just gathering information, trying to understand what's going on, what I'm looking at, and sort of what's the most beneficial to me and to help me progress into this hobby. So first thing I want to report, I'm very happy, very excited. My wife and my daughter actually went out. They bought me my first superhero shirt. So I got Venom, I got Lethal Protector, which is pretty cool. They were just selling it at Target, but it's really exciting because that is the first comic book that we got was Venom Lethal Protector #1. Now, I went to one of the stores that I've been frequenting. I told them what I had, Lethal Protector #1, and what I was looking for. It's a run of six, so I was looking for 2 through 6. I did not realize how easy it was going to be to be able to get all of them. So I went, I told him I needed 2 through 6. If he could help me, if he could set them aside, I'd be happy to come back. I want to come look at these. I want to see what we can do. So a couple days later, I went back. That was actually yesterday, so Saturday. I went back, and fortunately for me, he had all of them. I was able to acquire every single one, and he talked me through it a little bit. Now, one of the things that I did learn, because the first one that I bought was Lethal Protector #1. I bought it from kind of a big box store, and I probably paid more than I should have. I paid about $75 for it. In talking with him, if we did get it graded, we would expect to get maybe somewhere around a 9 or so. So I think if I was really lucky, $75 is about the most I could get for it in terms of a resale. Now, not that I'm really trying to sell everything or I want to make $1 million doing this, but it's just good. It gives me sort of an idea as to what I should be looking for and sort of the value of things, and to not be taken by these big box stores. I bought that there because it was what was available, and it was the first person I talked to, and they were the first people to really educate me on what would be a good thing to buy. Not to say that it wasn't a good thing to buy, but I went down the road to my favorite comic book store. I have two of them. One is Cosmic Comics, and the other one is Gotham City Limit. Cosmic Comics is the one that I'm going to. That's where I got 2 through 6. I went and talked to him, and he was able to show me all five that I was missing. He talked me through sort of how the grading process works, explained to me maybe the value of #1 that I had purchased and what I should have probably paid for it and what he would have sold it for to me for. Um, it would have been probably closer, maybe 25 or $30, whereas I paid 75, which is a little bit embarrassing, but that's okay. I'm learning. I know that there's always going to be a huge learning curve to a lot of these things. But a couple of the ones that he sold to me for $40, and the education was invaluable, of course. And then I also was able to pick up one of these, which I'm pretty happy about. My son and I, we picked out a comic book box. It's our first one. And then I have gotten a couple more, so I'm trying to not go too crazy because the entry into this hobby is kind of low, so it's pretty easy to get carried away. I'm really trying to not do that. One of the first things that I did buy, admittedly, I did go back to that big box store just because they were the easiest ones. They're always the easiest and the most convenient. But just in the interest of keeping my 4-year-old son interested, I got a couple of bags. So I bought a bunch of these bags and boards to protect some. And then I bought new issues of the books that my son already has, so I can preserve them and hold them, and maybe they'll mean something to him one day. So I want to show those to you here really quick. I got Spidey and His Amazing Friends #1. I got Spidey and His Friends #2. And then I got a couple of free issues. These free issues are always a lot of fun. A lot of these comic book stores I found typically have some free issues, and it's always fun to just pick up. It doesn't cost anything, and I mean, at the very least, it's a small story for you to just look over and see if it's something that you're interested in. Now, these books, I really do like these. My son really enjoys them a lot as well. We watch the show constantly, but then in these books, there's a lot of things that are beneficial to someone who's really young, who's still trying to learn a lot. So if there's any dads watching, I would really recommend trying to find something like this to be able to share with your son or daughter. Spidey and His Amazing Friends is the best example of that I found. But I just want to show you something here really quick. So the stories, there's several short stories in here, but then the other thing that I say we, but I really enjoyed was right here. Yeah, so if you look, some of these, actually all of them so far, actually have activities for the kids to participate in. So there's the storyline, but then I'm also able to translate some of that into math skills, into recognition, item recognition. He's being able to learn to count and relate that to something that he really really enjoys. Now, for the really fun stuff, for the stuff that I really like. Oh, by the way, another one I forgot. So this was another one of the free issues. Spider Boy. It's I think it's just left over from Halloween. It says trick or read free comics for ages 13 and up. So this was another good one. We really enjoyed this. My son actually woke me up this morning or yesterday at like 6 o'clock and wanted me to read it to him. So this is another really good one that he enjoyed a lot, and it's pretty easy to follow. Now, okay, so Venom #1. All right, very proud of this. All right, I know we got a long way to go, but I think this is a really good way to start off. I got Lethal Protector #2. I got Lethal Protector #3. Lethal Protector #4. #5. And #6. Okay, so I got 5 of those 6 for $40. So again, it's always a good thing to shop around. When you ask, people will often answer. Okay, if I had just stuck with that big box store that sold me my first one, they would have been more than happy to sell me the rest of them. But each individual one of those issues would have cost me as much as it cost me to go down the road and buy 5 for the same price. So they were selling them for about $30 or $40 for each, and I picked up all of them for $40. Always a good idea to talk to people, shop around, ask. All right, there's a lot of these Facebook pages, there's a lot of information online, there's a lot of websites, there's a lot of platforms that can really help you in trying to gather information. What I have been learning, all right, in terms of preservation, all right, I think this is important because I really like to retain the value. I want to get as much as I can out of these books in terms of reading them, enjoying the graphics, and just finding something to attach myself to, and that's Venom. But we need to preserve them for other people to enjoy as well. I'm not going to have these forever. And when I pass it on to someone else, whether it be my son or just the next reader, I want them to enjoy it just as much as I have. Now, I'm going to take Lethal Protector 1 here out of the case. All right. Talk a little bit about this. And then we'll follow up next week. Keep it moving. All right. All right. Now, one thing I was told, when you open up one of these bags, always either take the tape off or tuck it down underneath. I'll show you here in just a second. Of course, it's going to be harder now because I'm on video. Tuck the tape down so that way when you pull the book out, it doesn't get caught on the tape. If it gets caught on the tape, that's bad news bears for sure. You know, you could rip the page, you could peel some of the ink off. You don't want any of that. All right, now it's gonna be hard to see. All right, but there's one really big issue that I found. This right here, if you can see, there's a rather large crease. I guess comparatively, it's a rather large crease on the spine. In terms of grading, that's hugely going to impact the value of the grading score. That's pretty easy to see. But now there's another piece. I doubt that I'm going to be able to show you on video here. But if you look right here, I don't know if it's going to show. There's a tiny indentation, which you wouldn't even be able to see it unless you knew what you were looking for. But depending on where you go, they can ping that stuff and it can affect the grading score. So I have learned that you can get these reconditioned, you can get them cleaned, you can get them pressed, and a lot of times those small indentations, as long as it didn't break the ink, you can bring that back. The gentleman at the store was telling me he's seen books go from a low 6 to a low 9 in terms of grading just from getting them pressed and cleaned. So there's definitely value there, and it only costs I think $15 or $20 to do. So if that's something that you're really looking for, it's not impossible. It's definitely not well outside of, I don't think, anyone's price range to try to get that stuff done, especially if you want to hold on to it and you're looking for investments. Preserving everything is important, but also reconditioning. I haven't read any of these yet. That is going to be the next step. I think my son and I were going to be reading Lethal Protector here in the very near future. I expect to have one of those read at least before I put up the next video. If you have any, again, if you have any questions, or if there's any tips or tricks that you can provide, I would really appreciate that. I love the input. Again, I saw that I do have a couple of subscribers and a couple of likes. Really appreciate it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep pushing. Let me know where I can make it better. All right.